So the major reason a man doesn't follow up with you after a fantastic date. That's our topic today, and I'm excited to talk to you about it because I think after you realize and know this main reason, you are going to feel so relieved and so much better. So we will get to it in a second. Right now, don't forget to press that subscribe button and share this video. Also, don't forget the red alert bell so that you are alerted to all my future videos so you can join in the conversation and get more information, because that's what we are all about here as women, sharing and also really connecting on what it is that will get you what you desire and deserve with men. So, our topic today, what I believe to be the major reason a man does not follow up with you after you've had a fantastic date. This is very, very confusing for women. And I want to let you know that this is a bit of a deep conversation, and it's going to require your real attention to it, because if you miss something on this, you're going to miss the whole point of it. So if you know me at all and you've listened to my podcast, Make Him Wonder, you can find that on almost all platforms. Certainly you can go to makehimwonder.com and you can hear the latest podcast there quite easily. I often put them here on YouTube in little chunks, or even the entire podcast that I think is of real importance and of entertainment value to be here on YouTube, because Make Him Wonder is real life love and relationship coaching conversations that I have with women who write to me and want to talk to me about a particular issue that they are dealing with in a relationship, in dating, in love, and all manner of things connected to romance. And I talk with them. Normally I've never spoken with them before. Sometimes I have, but mostly it is a real coaching conversation that we have related to their topic. So if you want to talk to me, you can certainly do that. But let's get to the topic of today. So when you've had a fantastic date, especially a first date, with a man who you feel you've really connected with, you know that there is chemistry there and there is interest on his part, and then he doesn't follow up. It is the most confusing and confounding thing that can happen to us as women, because it's of meaning and import to us, because we don't generally have fantastic dates all the time with men that we really connect with and somebody we really want to follow up. And we know for certain that feeling is there. You know it like you know your own name, that the feeling was there. And what is the reason for that? I will give it to you in a bit of chunks. The first and foundational principle you must know comes from Freud himself. The reason I bring up my podcast is that you've heard me talk about this a lot on the podcast, as it is a foundational principle from which I work. And that is what Freud termed the male Madonna-whore complex. And hate the terms used there, but it is Freudian. It's his terminology, and it's actually now been changed just a bit, because it is so pervasive in the reptilian brain of males. And when I say reptilian, I'm not making fun of the brain or the male brain for sure. That's what it is called, our reptilian brain. We have three brains, parts of our brain, and the oldest in terms of our brain is our reptilian brain, and it is where we house our instincts, and we have no language in our reptilian brain. It's not, that was developed much later. So Madonna-whore means this, and it was a complex when Freud quantified it for us and qualified it for us. It is now called the Madonna-whore dichotomy because it is a foundational principle and male mind set in a way, but it's much deeper than that. It is the core of the male brain in terms of how men see women. And it is Madonna, Mother Mary, or the term whore, which, hate the term, but it makes it easy for us to talk about, and it is Freud's terminology, and terminology that unfortunately we all know. So what this means is that men put women in nanoseconds, even when they see them, when they see pictures of them, when they see them on your social media. So hint, hint, that they qualify women and put them in one of two categories. And that is either a woman with whom you can have a serious, committed relationship. Think of it as the old term of girl to take home to mother, meaning Mother Mary can be somewhat chaste, virginal to an nth degree, or in the middle of the scale, just a good girl to take as a wife and mother of children. And then on the flip side, you have a girl to have fun with. So the reason I go through all of this is that when you have gone on a date with someone who has, maybe he's even heavily pursued you, you feel that the chemistry is really strong. The connection is really strong. He seems like such a Mr. Right to you. And when you go out on this date and you have these feelings, when you are just so confused as to why he does not follow up, this could very well be, which I believe to be much more at play than women understand, is that he has put you in the category of good girl, possible wife and mother material. This is if you showed up and you have shown yourself to him to be of high value. He's pursued. It has been very cordial, date-like. He's been respectful during the date, and you have felt this, and you might be on cloud 9, and then he doesn't call. This is because, now we take it that step further, that he's put you in the right category to be in a committed, long-term, monogamous relationship that would lead somewhere, possibly to commitment, marriage, etc. That if he is not ready, willing, and able at that time to follow through on what he sees you ready for and knows that is of your value, he will not continue, no matter his feelings. This is all in my book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. If you haven't gotten it, please do, because I think it will help you enormously to dive even deeper into this. I don't talk about it under the guise of Freud, in terms of how I'm talking to you about it here, but I do talk about it in terms of my consumer versus buyer principle. And what this means is men live in two categories, being either ready, willing, and able to commit according to a set of 5 criteria. And that man, when he is in that stage, he fits the 5 criteria. And the 5th of the criteria is that he is in love. He is in the state of being a buyer. And that means he is ready, willing, and able to take on a relationship and fully commit to it. Now, for those criteria, you have no control over because they have absolutely nothing to do with you. and everything to do with his state of being. So the other state, of course, is being a consumer. And that man is not ready at all to take on a committed relationship. Again, having nothing to do with you. Now, he might like you so much. He might be so interested in you. But if he values you and he puts you in the category of being that girl, woman, to be respected and take home to mother, and not just to have fun with, he will simply not follow up with you. It's as simple as that. Because you see, while we as women live via our emotions and feelings, men make decisions and do what is right by those they value, respect, and care about, regardless of their feelings. This is what makes a good man, and what is very difficult for us when we see how good a man he is on a date. We feel the chemistry, we know it's right, we know he could be a Mr. Right, and yet we think, well, the feelings are there. What's wrong with me? Why didn't he follow up with me? What did I do on the date? Where did I go wrong? What misinformation did I give him? Etc., etc. And I am here to relieve you of that feeling so that you can know that all of the time, it had little or nothing to do with you if you held yourself in a respectful way to be of value during that date. And maybe you gave him a peck on the cheek goodnight, or even a light kiss on the lips goodnight. He's not going to play with you as if you were in the second category to him. Again, I don't believe there's any one category or the other. I don't look at it like this. This isn't my concept at all. It is Freudian. However, remember, Freud in, I believe it's 1912, maybe earlier, he only put it down on paper for us in terms of a concept. But this is something as old as the reptilian brain of men, and we cannot change that. What we can do, and what I'd like you to do, is that if you've gone on a date like that and you've been so incredibly disappointed, what you need to do is not in any way think it had something to do with you, and instead, no, I held myself in a place of value. I held myself to be respected. He's likely put me in that first category. And guess what's going to happen if you are in that first category of Madonna? When and if he becomes ready, because he's not going to play with you, play with your heart, be sexual with you, and devalue you in his eyes in that way. Not that there's anything wrong with being sexual should you choose. It is that if you hold yourself in that category, when he is more ready, willing, and able to commit, according to the other 4 criteria, he may find you again. And you don't know what is going to happen down the road. You keep dating and hopefully meet buyers, but consumers and buyers, you don't know from the outset. I want to do a video on that as well, because you won't know, because most all men in the beginning present themselves to be possible buyers, but we have to be smart in terms of qualifying them according to the 4 criteria. That's why I want you to get the book. It's written down there. You can see it. Also, you can take a test to know where any man is on the scale of being a possible buyer for you or a consumer. That is the consumer versus buyer relationship test that you can take easily. You get fast, free results at willhecommit.com. That's willhecommit.com. I'll put it down there in the comments. but you can take a test and find out where your man might fall on the scale of being ready, willing, and able to commit vis-a-vis you and how you are interacting with him. You can take that on someone you're seeing now or with someone that you might have been in the past, an ex. And then you'll know, oh, okay, it wasn't me. Because I can sit here and say, 9 times out of 10, this is not what you did. It is not that. It is where the man is falling. If you have felt that a man likes you or even loves you and you've lost him or not even gotten out of the gate with him like we are talking about now, where it's just been a first or second date and then he begs off, it is likely what I'm telling you, so that you can feel really good and confident about yourself staying in that first category. Should he be ready, he will likely come back because he will remember that, oh my gosh, now that I feel ready, according to these other criteria, I want to find a woman of high value and quality to possibly be my wife. There is so much material on this that you can Google, read about. I talk about this on my podcast, Make Him Wonder, a lot, because it is so incredibly vital for us as women to understand and to know, so that we really know much more about how we are viewed in the world and valued when we stick to our own value system and not step out of it just according to our social milieu, social media, what have you, because a picture's worth 1,000 words to a man. So we want to make sure that even on social media we are staying in that first category. Again, go to Make Him Wonder, my podcast, and on any listening platform you can scroll through and find out where I talk more about this kind of thing, get a lot more information. Comment below. Tell me what you feel about this. If you've heard of it before. For some women, this is the first time they are encountering this concept. And it really is foundational. I want you to get it. I want to talk more about it whenever you need. Answer any questions about it. So go there and put a comment below, and I'm happy to be sharing this with you, as I'm happy to share so many things more in the weeks and months to come here on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing again and sharing this information. I want every woman to know it, because we women are love in the world, and we deserve to get the love that we desire. I'm all about that.